Hi, Megan, and welcome to your past life reading. Every time this thing starts recording, I get really like, is it recording? Don't want to waste my life. I hate recording and failing. So, you know. Anyways, hi, welcome to your past life reading. So, what are we doing today? We are finding out why the fuck you're still here. So, from the moment that you entered Earth's atmosphere, you had one goal in mind. This is the North Node. This is the North Node in your draconic chart and your natal chart. You'll notice is going to the same house. That's the goal. That's what you're trying to do. Every other incarnation, you have been tilting the zodiac wheel, trying to find which combination is going to Rubik's Cube style get your ass out of here. We want to know why you came here in the first place, what you're trying to accomplish, what occurred in that first incarnation that made you have to keep coming back over and over again, because there is always a connection between that life and the life you're currently in. So we're going to dig through all the characteristics of that past life so we can see what you have left to fix so that you can get out of here and go somewhere else besides Club Earth. So I'm going to start by tapping into your Akashic records with this Akashic deck. The Akashic records are like the library that keeps the books for every soul that ever decided to separate from source. It's huge. You can't even imagine. That's why it's like invisible and shit. So I'm going to be tapping into your Akashic record, your book of life. We are essentially human radio receivers. We take in energy, we give out energy, right? So I am going to be taking in the energy of your book, streaming like Netflix or something. And then I'm going to tell you what I see. And then it's going to be like, holy shit, that makes sense on your end. So I am entering the Akashic Records on the behalf of Meghan Smith. Entering the Akashic Records on the behalf of Meghan Smith. All right, we're in. What are the details from her first past life here on Earth? All right. Now we're getting into the good stuff. So, are you a writer now? Because that's what started. Ooh, I like this. I never get to show the cards because I had that whack ass webcam that was like looking at static. But you started off writing, but it's not just regular writing. It's like you were documenting, taking note of what needed to be fixed here, what can be improved here on Earth. But your journey was all about that. You came to explore. What is your North Node in? Is it something Aquarius based in some way, shape, or form, or 11th house? You came to see what you could see so that you could add notes to the Akashic Records, notes to the Book of Life, notes on Earth. So let's dig into this a little bit deeper. This is my handy dandy past life deck. These things are like crack. Pokemon crack. Gotta collect them all. So may I have more details from this past life where Meghan was an archaeologist, a recorder of human behavior. It's big brain energy. Okay. So, one day I'm going to figure out how to have this thing pointing down at the cards and my face at the top. I so thought I had it this time, but I did not. And I was like, I'm not going to wait any longer to get this reading out because I wanted to look a certain way. Those Virgo traits get you right. I take so long doing stuff trying to perfect it and then I'm late and just that. So you, first and foremost, the theme, spirituality and religion. There's a book in there again. This is back to that documenting. You wanted to report to source, if you will, afterwards. You wanted to go here and then be like, hey, this is what I saw on Earth where I could see improvements, what needs to be handled. And somehow along the way you got caught. So what got you caught up in here? First and foremost, I'm being guided to your ethnicity being important. So you can get an idea of where you began. And it says Native American with the TP on it. So disrespectful for the card maker. But I am sensing like pre-TP, like Mayans. If you've ever looked into Atlantis Mayans, or the people who left Atlantis and then came to what is called North America now, they got called Native Americans, that you're like ancient-ish, because this is pre Adam and Eve. You absolutely need to know that. So originally, you were a mom. Mom happened along the way. But there's some funkiness here. Something absolutely went wrong, of course, because you're still here. Uh, but what I'm sensing is you teaching other kids as well. So it's not just you being a mom to your own kids, is what I'm sensing here, because you can see in the photo she has two kids sitting on her lap. But that is streaming through to me in connection to this. Like you taught children what you learned as a part of the church, as a part of religion. Unfortunately, and I know I'm slow through this because it's sort of, this is very uncomfortable, and I rarely have readings that are uncomfortable. Um, your energy was imprisoned. You were tucked away. Now, this is what I want to get into here. Like, why were you tucked away? Why was Meghan imprisoned? So the spirituality and stuff that you were teaching wasn't Christianity, of course, because Christianity wasn't technically a thing yet here. But you were giving power back to the people. They ain't like that. Yeah, why were you in prison? Look at that. Can't make this shit up. High priestess. You were in prison because of your power. And then you were moved somewhere else. And then forced to marry. So that is why you continue to return. You still have not achieved the mission you wanted to of creating a system that you could teach the children that they can carry on, that is about healing, it's about spirituality, it's about teaching them their connection to the earth, it's about solving food and hunger. You could have been teaching them gardening, just anything that you had learned before you settled in this particular place. You were coming to teach the children because you didn't start in the North America area. This is before life ended within like 100 years. This is before these bodies got like so you learned all you could while you were in Atlantis, right? And then when that shut down, and check out Gaia in Atlanta Stories or the Atlantean catastrophe on Spirit Science if you'd like to look more into that, because the story's real in depth, and I feel like you listening to the full story will help you start to trigger memories, because this is all about you triggering stuff within yourself that starts allowing your higher self to give you back your memories, to connect to yourself, right? So you were somewhere where you learned, like you went to Soul College, you learned all this stuff, and when you came to the New World, you were teaching the children the stuff, how to heal yourself, how to grow your food, all this other stuff. And the amount of power that you had drew the attention of people that came in, once again, and you were moved and utilized elsewhere. So your soul wanted to teach. You wanted to make a difference through what you taught. You wanted to teach something that would roll over into the future. And you were captured in the middle of that. I can even go as far as to say so much trauma occurred to the people that you were helping, that even the children after this case, that you did not achieve your message. Are you drawn to children in this life? Any desire to help them? Because that would still be a remnant of that. So what shadow pattern is still lingering for Meghan? What is the burden that she still wants to fix? This is what's keeping you here. Beyonce's I Was Here started playing in my head. You could even have North Node in 10th with this. So you see this? Colorless angel. You're an angel that came here with a mission and you don't feel like you achieved that mission. Look how sad that angel is. She's like, whoa, it's fucking me. That was you. At the bottom of this card is parasite. So there may be somebody, a male, that is still in your energy. Is it an ex already? Yes, this is somebody you've already dated in this life. And look at us coming over into this life already. Somebody who is still in your energy field. That person that attached themselves to you in that life is still attached to you in some way, shape, or form in this life. And it doesn't feel like you're currently with them. But they're still taking up space in your mind rent-free, baby. And in your energy. You need to do a cord cutting for the relationship, as that is the relationship that you never wanted to be in the first place. And the way that you be able to tell that it's this person, control issues come up. You might notice that your behavior is a little different around this person versus how you usually act when you're dating somebody. Like you might automatically like fall in line or do things that are out of your character because of the situation that you dealt with before. You are reenacting that pattern with the person so that you can clear it this time and take your power back. So you wanted to clear that in this life. Along with this, feeling like you are an angel with no purpose, an angel that did not accomplish your goal. You also have a hard time crying now because of that. Like you disconnected yourself from your emotions in order to deal with what occurred there, but that is still a blockage that you are dealing with in this life. So now that we know that's what you're dealing with, let's find out what traits you need to release in order to move forward. Oh no, I need to know how that life ended first before we find out what you need to release. I'm about to say, let's get the death out the way. Let's get the trauma of that out the way. Because death traumas really do count. There are some people who won't even go towards their mission, me being one of them, because they had a painful or horrific end in the past. So they're like, I don't even want to do that again. Let me just sit this one out. So how did this life as an educator and high priestess end for Meghan? How did this life end for Meghan? And I'm looking off to the side because I'm like streaming my Netflix and chill. It really feels like you just hated your life so much, you just, like your body gave up. Like one day you just, that could have been you were sick over time and nobody understood why you kept being sick or your body gave out, but it was your your person no longer being aligned with their mission and their passions, so the body gave out over time. So, remember I said you got kidnapped. You got taken, right? The whole Atlantis story. So in Atlantis, the people that caused the problem were the Martians. The Martians in reptile form. Reptilians. You can look into all of this. It's fucking amazing. Blow your mind, right? Look what popped up as your cause of death. That's snakes and aliens. Snakes are just another form of dragons. They're like dragon cousins. The dragons after the dragons got punished for being pieces of shit. Being taken. It really did kill your morale. Just being there, just being a part of that system. And it's like you were taken and forced to be one wife, but it's like not a regular wife situation. This is somebody who was just trying to see what power they could get out of you. So you were their experiment. So your body giving out makes sense. If every day you're being poked and prodded with needles and tested, it's where the experiments that Hitler was doing in the Holocaust came from. Everything is connected and keeps getting redone over and over again. And Hitler was absolutely Martian based because they were still trying to find out how you get power from people that have souls into people who are without the Christ spark, which is essentially your soul. This is the first time this has ever popped up. And can't make this shit up because I was just explaining. I'm always amazed by this. Even though I know I do it all the time and it always resonates, it's still like, God is amazing. You should never not be amazed by what comes through here, right? So if you have any alien phobias, if Jurassic Park rubbed you the wrong way, anything about aliens, reptilians, or this sort of stuff makes you feel like, now you know. So what traits does Meghan need to leave behind in order to embrace who she really is? Because these are all blockages to who you are, who you came to be. A fear of ever being taken against your will, a fear of your power, or fear of your power ever being used against you, or being misused because you have a power. You are leaving behind, and look at this, came up again. Monk and nun. This is a completely different deck with the same words. You are leaving behind selfless devotion to spirit and not looking out for yourself. Maybe there are times you could have ran, you could have fought back at any of that, but you did not. And that's no fault, no victim blaming here. But it was because of your faith. And damn, did they fuck that up. So checking in with your faith matters too. You're also going to be letting go of the vampire trait. The part of you that does not seek your own light, so you just hang around with other people that have light for fear of embracing your own, but you can see it in other people and it reminds you of what you once had. It's time for you to step back into your power. Now, and I said what traits you needed to drown. This is you actually letting go of being a hero. Escapism. Running away from your duty. This is that come back symbol. Don't run far away. You cannot avoid your duty. Or you keep coming back here again. That's why you keep coming back here. And that was the main reason we were doing this reading. Why are you still here with us? Because you're afraid to do the thing that you came to do the first time because it made you a target. So what traits does Meghan need to embrace in this life to achieve her original goal and go home? What traits does she need to embrace? Independence based on learning to go it alone. Conquer the fear of surviving. So you're jumping into this child energy. And the orphan part is interesting because that's somebody who grew up without having parental figures or somebody who grew up without having role model parental figures. Somebody who had parents that aren't exactly what they should have been like looking up to maybe. Don't know if that's your case, but it's coming up here. But you learned a lot of survival skills on your own, and that's what you need to embrace in order to go forward and do this mission on your own, is more the thing. You are a child of God. Also, you gave away the lover trait, which is understood when sexual abuse and things of that nature. But it's time for you to get reconnected with your creative sexual energy. This is your sacral chakra. This is your sacred lover. I need to send you this book that I just read called Your Ancient Lover. It fucking changed my life. Let me tell you a quick thing. Like there's this cord cutting thing in there, which is important because I just mentioned it to you. This cord cutting thing in there, and it's like an energetic cord cutting. You spiritually call the person in the room. You have a conversation with them. They start taking on their own like animation because you didn't call somebody's soul into the room, and you get to clear out any issues you have with them. And then at the end, it takes you through this exercise where you remove the cords. So I was thinking I was going to have a cord like in my heart. The cord I had in my heart was like, so that person wasn't even in my heart that much, right? But when I went to go like search, because they have you look for where your other cords are, there was a big one in the back of my fucking head and one in my uterus. I kid you not. I pulled the one out the back of my head, right? Then I pulled the long ass, like I had to energetically I could picture pulling the one out of my womb like this. I kid you not. 3 minutes later, I went to the bathroom and my period had started. Like that was the blockage. I had been dealing with endometriosis. Fucking all my words up. Endometriosis. I had horrible cramps. Like my periods are hell. My uterus is like, but it was because there was a cord that was allowing somebody to energetically still siphon from my womb energy, which is your creative energy, and it causes issues in your body. The one that was in the back of my head was giving me migraines all the time. So I'm saying all this to you because I'm going to recommend you that book because it seems like you still have those sort of blockages as well from that parasite that is feeding off the creative energy you need to go out there and be the teacher and the gambler. They want you to be somebody who jumps out of there. Let me run up in there. Jump out of there blind. You don't even know why you're doing it, but you're going by your intuition and you're finally stepping back into what you came to do here in the first place because that was wrongfully taken from you. The game of life, right? The main thing that I am learning here through watching everybody else's stuff is you come here, you go through your storyline, you learn a lesson, and you pass that lesson on. You passing on the lesson is the thing that makes you pass the class. It's like when you have a project at the end, you have to testify what this journey did for you, how you found God through your particular circumstances to tell somebody else so that they too can find him. That's how you get out of Earth Games. And that is particularly important to you because that's what you came to do in the first place. You wanted to teach other people something they could pass on to get out as well. So you're like the plug. So last but not least, what do you need to do for self-care so that you can start integrating these wounds and get the fuck off of planet Earth? What does she need to embrace? movement. This goes back to that sacral and that root chakra. You need to get some energy going up in there. Shake that ass, girl. Soak in a bath, but this is like a salt bath, energy bath, rose bath. You need to feed back into your spiritual energy and cleanse your aura. Do this before you dance also. Let me know if you need me to send you the recipe for the spiritual bath. I was thinking if you're in my class, I believe you are, so you might already have it. Then look what's at the bottom again. Dance. Yes. Take the chakra test. I'm actually going to post that today on the page. And see if your root and sacral and solar plexus are blocked, because that is what I'm sensing. The whole time I was sitting here, I'm not going to lie, I wanted to stretch my hips and I wanted to like crack my lower back. Like there's a lot of energy in that area for you that's sort of stagnated as well. That loosens up through, ironically enough, although yoga and things like that are important, but twerking, moving that energy for yourself. That is moving your sexual energy that has nothing to do with anybody else, because you have been departed from yours since it was abused. So I am so happy to get this to you. Look forward to your feedback.